Will the world end when the moon becomes red according to the Bible? Throughout human history, celestial phenomena have captured the attention of observers, often sparking wonder, fear, and curiosity. Among these phenomena is the blood moon, a term commonly used to describe the moon appearing red during a lunar eclipse. This striking event has been the subject of various interpretations, both scientific and spiritual. In the realm of biblical prophecy, the imagery of a red moon has significant implications, leading many to ask, does the Bible suggest that the world will end when the moon becomes red? Biblical references to the red moon. The Bible contains several passages that mention the moon turning red or being darkened. These references often appear in the context of apocalyptic visions and end times prophecy. Three key passages provide insight into this imagery. Joel 2 verses 30 to 31. And I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and columns of smoke. The sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon to blood, before the great and awesome day of the Lord comes. In this prophecy, the blood moon is described as a sign preceding the day of the Lord, a term that often refers to a time of divine judgment and intervention. Acts 2 verses 19 to 20. And I will show wonders in the heavens above and signs on the earth below, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon to blood, before the day of the Lord comes, the great and magnificent day. This passage in the New Testament echoes the prophecy in Joel and emphasizes the significance of heavenly signs in the context of God's plans. Revelation 6 verse 12. When he opened the sixth seal, I looked, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, the full moon became like blood. The book of Revelation presents this imagery as part of a dramatic vision of end times events, suggesting a period of upheaval and divine intervention. The symbolism of the blood moon in the Bible. To understand the biblical significance of the red moon, it is essential to consider its symbolic meaning. In the scriptures, celestial events often serve as signs of God's power, judgment, and sovereignty. The blood moon, with its striking appearance, is associated with dramatic changes and divine action. The red moon's symbolism can also be linked to themes of warning and preparation. In Joel and Revelation, the blood moon is depicted as a precursor to the day of the Lord, signaling that significant events are about to unfold. It serves as a reminder of God's control over creation and his ultimate plan for humanity. Does the blood moon signal the end of the world? While the blood moon holds a place of significance in biblical prophecy, it is important to approach these passages with careful interpretation. The Bible does not explicitly state that the world will end the moment the moon turns red. Instead, the blood moon is described as one of many signs that will accompany pivotal events in God's divine plan. The day of the Lord, as mentioned in these prophecies, is a complex concept that encompasses judgment, restoration, and the fulfillment of God's promises. Rather than focusing solely on the imagery of the blood moon, it is vital to consider the broader context of the scriptures, which emphasize themes of repentance, hope, and the ultimate victory of good over evil. Additionally, the Bible often uses symbolic language to convey spiritual truths. The imagery of a blood moon may not necessarily refer to a literal event, but could represent a time of upheaval, change, or judgment. Interpreting these passages requires discernment, humility, and an understanding of the Bible's overall message. Scientific perspective on the blood moon. From a scientific standpoint, a blood moon occurs during a total lunar eclipse when the Earth passes between the sun and the moon. During this alignment, sunlight is filtered through the Earth's atmosphere, scattering shorter wavelengths of light, such as blue, and allowing longer wavelengths, such as red, to reach the moon's surface. This process gives the moon its reddish hue. While the scientific explanation demystifies the blood moon, it does not diminish its beauty or the awe it inspires. For believers, the occurrence of a blood moon can still serve as a reminder of God's handiwork in creation and the intricate design of the universe. Responding to the signs. The mention of a red moon in biblical prophecy invites reflection on how we respond to the signs of the times. Rather than focusing on fear or speculation, the scriptures encourage us to live with faith, readiness, and trust in God's promises. In Matthew 24, verse 36, Jesus reminds his followers, "But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father." This verse underscores the importance of staying spiritually prepared rather than attempting to predict the exact timing of end times events. Believers are called to live with a sense of purpose and hope, knowing that God's plans are ultimately for the good of those who love Him. Romans 8, verse 28. The signs mentioned in the Bible, including the blood moon, serve as reminders to remain steadfast in faith and to share the message of God's love and salvation with others. Hope in the midst of prophecy. While discussions of the end times can evoke fear or uncertainty, the Bible offers a message of hope. For those who trust in God, the fulfillment of His promises brings assurance and peace. Revelation 21, verse 4 paints a beautiful picture of the future. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. This promise reminds us that the ultimate goal of God's plan is restoration and redemption. The blood moon, like other signs in the Bible, points to a future where God's justice and love prevail. Conclusion. The question of whether the world will end when the moon becomes red, according to the Bible, reveals the depth and richness of biblical prophecy. While the red moon is a significant symbol within the scriptures, it is not the sole determinant of the end of the world. Instead, it serves as one of many signs pointing to God's divine plan and the culmination of His promises. As we contemplate the imagery of the blood moon, let us approach it with a spirit of faith, humility, and hope. Rather than succumbing to fear or speculation, we are called to live with readiness and trust in God's sovereignty. The message of the Bible is ultimately one of redemption, offering the assurance that God is in control and that His plans are for our good. Through prayer, study, and reflection, we can find comfort in the knowledge that God's promises are unchanging. The blood moon, whether a celestial event or a symbolic vision, reminds us of the beauty and majesty of God's creation and the hope we have in Him.